Hello everyone, it's Sheena with the Sheena Monet Movement. I hope you're having a good day. So today I am in Savannah, Georgia. It is a beautiful day out here, and the reason why I'm here is because I wanted to find the dungeons that I've been hearing about. So if you've ever been to Savannah, Georgia, you know that River Street is like mainly a tourist attraction. There are a lot of bars on River Street. There are entertainment sites. It's really nice. The only issue I had is I did not see any plaques telling me any type of information about the slavery that was going on River Street or in Savannah. I ran into some locals here in Savannah, and they are who told me where to come and find the dungeons that I was looking for. It was not easy because there are no signs or no plaques on River Street that will guide you to these dungeons. I found them. I'm standing in front of one. There is some information in front of the dungeon, but it does not explain what I found from my research that I'm going to share with you. Savannah was a significant port for the transatlantic slave trade, with thousands of people brought in and auctioned off. After arriving from Africa, enslaved individuals were brought into these holding areas and later led to market to be sold. On River Street, enslaved African Americans faced grueling labor, being crushed by cargo, or dying from exhaustion, as well as being held in warehouses and tunnels used as holding cells before being sold to auction. Savannah is where the largest slave trade auction in history occurred in 1859. A two-day event called the Weeping Time. 436 enslaved individuals were sold off and families were separated. Savannah's port was a major center for commerce, particularly for the export of cotton. Enslaved Africans were forced to load and unload cumbersome freight, mainly cotton, from harboring ships. Many of them were literally crushed under their work. Pretty much, they were lifting heavy materials, mainly cotton. Sometimes they would get crushed under their work and die. Forced labor of enslaved individuals built the wealth of Savannah. Africans were referred to as black gold by investors and merchants. Now, the information that I read to you, you would not find out here on any plaques on River Street. I don't know if they have any of the information elsewhere, but it's really not on River Street. And as I'm standing in front of the dungeon, I see many people coming up here to look at the dungeons as well. And what they're going to see is what's right here. They're reading this information. The information that's right here does not say anything about forced labor. This being a holding cell does not say anything about that. So I think that's a little concerning. I'm going to show you the dungeon, and I have been told that you can sometimes see the shackles still located inside the building. I don't see any shackles in here, but I have been told that there were shackles still in here and you can see them. So I'm going to take the camera over here and see if I can see the shackles, but I can't see any while I'm standing right here. I'm going to take you over here to the dungeon now. So here is the information that they have in front of this one. There are 4 dungeons, and I'm going to take you to all 4 of them. But here's the information. You are free to pause the video to read it if you would like. You won't see anything on here telling you about this location being where they held enslaved individuals before they were auctioned off. Here is the dungeon. It's really dark in here. I do see holes. I don't know if this is what they're talking about, being proof of where shackles were, but I believe that that would be the location. It's really dark in here, really uncomfortable. I mean, walking on this ground is really uncomfortable. Imagine having to sit here before you're being sold off. Okay, this is outside of the dungeon. We have tourists here looking and reading the information. Here's some more information. You are free to pause the video once again and read this information. Now I'm going to walk in here. I actually do see a piece that looks like it was a part of something that would be shackled to someone's wrist. So there you have it. Still see holes in the walls, even back here. This is concrete. I don't know if it was like this then or similar to the floor in the other dungeon. More tourists coming to read the information. Okay, and now we have this information. Now right here, you can see down here where it says, in 1904, 3 African Americans were seriously injured in the westernmost vault as they constructed the new city hall building. The vault collapsed during excavations for the foundations of the neighboring structure. Workmen survived, despite being crushed under massive amounts of brick and timber. City Hall's contractor rebuilt the collapsed vault. They said that those workmen survived, but what I read was that many of them were crushed and they did not survive. You do have here, they're talking about a sale at a courthouse, and you can pause the video. You're free to read that. That's really small. It's hard to read. So they are talking about a sale, but they're not being specific. Here's the other dungeon. I don't really see holes in this dungeon right here. So maybe it was used for a different level of being sold, because there are no holes in these walls. These walls look quite different from the other dungeon. And then there's a little opening there, so you can go in and out and side to side. I would have to do some more research. Maybe I can find some local townspeople to tell me why that's like that. But as you can see, the other dungeons were not like that. I'm going to also show you the port. Is really beautiful. That is, the port is actually located right there on River Street. That is where the ships were coming in. They came in human cargo as well as cotton. Enslaved individuals were forced to load and unload cargo from off of the ships that came in on that water. Okay, so here is the port in Savannah, Georgia. Here is where many enslaved Africans were brought on the ship and unloaded, as well as cotton, lots of cotton for enslaved individuals to unload. Another interesting fact is, as I'm doing my video, the tourists who are walking and viewing the dungeons, I asked some of them if they knew that these were dungeons that were used to hold enslaved individuals before they were sold for auction, and many of them told me they had no idea. So this is why I believe there should be a plaque somewhere around that describes these dungeons. Hi, are y'all from Savannah?
I am.
Do you know anything about these dungeons?
I've taken a tour. They said it's a bunch of ghosts and shit. City settlement all the way up, down the way by the river.
Well, thank you for that.
Oh yeah. My bad. It's just every time I walk past it, give me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, I walked in there, I got the heebie-jeebies. Now you can see how they look from the outside. Extremely uncomfortable.